Hold up.
My hands are washed. My hands are washed. Did y'all see this? You need to be aware. You need to be aware. Wake up before you get hit with reality. Take a look at this.
The U.S. government is insolvent. And this will be my third time recording this video because for some reason I get pissed off and start swearing, and I'm not supposed to do that online. But if we have a conversation in real life, I'll tell you how I really think. Anywho, let me tell you what is happening. According to 47's Department of Treasury, you know, the people who take in payments for taxes, unless you're like a multi-billion-dollar corporation, then they don't take any money from you because you're not really paying taxes because Republicans can't govern. I did a video last night and said, you got to know what you know, and I know what I know, and I stand on the fact that Republicans cannot govern, at least not for people. They are great for corporations, and they continue to prove that. As a matter of fact, they've done it so well, they've bankrupted the U.S. government. Isn't that crazy? I remember like in September, October 2024, we were talking about the fact that the U.S. was at, like $37 trillion in debt. Like that, the deficit was so high, and pretty soon we were going to be like not able to make our interest payments. We needed to make some changes, like for real. So obviously, here's the thing. I'm a business owner. So when you have issues with your balance sheet, if your income is not matching your expenses, you've got one of two options. You can increase the income or you can reduce the expenses. Well, the government is not supposed to operate for profit. So, you can increase your income or you can reduce your expenses. Republicans just want to reduce the expenses, which is not necessarily a bad thing, except for when you are cutting vital services for the citizens. Things like healthcare and food and housing and veteran benefits. Like, that's probably not a good idea. The other alternative would be to increase the income. Well, that means that billion-dollar corporations who haven't been paying taxes based on the 2017 Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, they should actually be paying. But no, because the big, beautiful bill that was passed, the only significant piece of legislation that this administration has passed, that ensured that the tax cuts are permanent. So they're not going to pay anymore. And it doesn't matter that they have already reduced all of these things. Now, they just agreed to give a company out of France $1 billion not to finish a wind power plant, wind energy. No, we don't need that. We'll give you $1 billion not to finish it, so we can make some money. Oh, okay. Oh, and then also we know that we can't provide health care for our citizens. We can't take care of our veterans and the poor among us. Like, we can't give them $6 a day for food, and then if they do happen to get that $6, we're definitely going to dictate what they can and cannot eat, because that's our business as well. We want to do that. Oh, and outside of that, we're going to spend an exorbitant amount of time trying to ensure that women cannot vote. Oh, and we got to get rid of all those trans people too. This would actually be comical if it were not true, but it is. And it would also be laughable if no one had actually said this is what was going to happen, but we did. And also they did. In fact, they not only said it, they wrote it down and they put it online, and they called it Project 2025. The reason that ICE is in the airports right now, it's in Project 2025. They want to privatize it. Of course. Republicans have received 7 standalone bills to fund TSA agents, and they haven't passed a single one of them because they want the money for ICE without restrictions. It's Project 2025. Married women, midterms are coming up. If you are poor or an hourly worker, or you don't have a passport, if your legal name does not match your birth certificate, good luck. But that is also in Project 2025. They want to implement family voting. They also want to get rid of no-fault divorce. So if you don't like your husband, you might want to go and do something about that. You know what? Y'all stay. Y'all don't listen to me. Y'all don't believe anything I say anyway, so it's completely fine. Anyway, the U.S. is broke, and it was 1,000% predictable and preventable. But your racism, your hatred, your bigotry, your misogyny, yeah, 250 years. I guess it was a pretty good run, huh? Here's what's so dangerous about this. Not the fact that billion dollar corporations aren't paying taxes, not the fact that millionaires are literally creating ways to avoid paying taxes, because that's been happening. It's just permanent now, and that you are paying more likely in taxes than your employer is, at least percentage wise. Yeah, that's sad. What's crazy is um, not just the fact that Republicans don't think that like generating more revenue would have been beneficial. They just want to take things from y'all. They don't want your kids to get a quality education. Unless, of course, it's written by the Daughters of the Confederacy, and then they can learn all they want. In fact, they're going to bake it into their homeschool curriculum. They've got PragerU working on a whole new rollout of videos so that your kids can learn how the Civil War was about states' rights and how slaves didn't have it that bad. They really liked the families that they worked for. The fact that I have made it this far and have not cussed yet, that is very good. Let me tell you what I told my friends. I sent them the article. This article is from Fortune. It's behind a paywall, actually, and I've subscribed, but don't y'all subscribe, because I had to set a reminder so I can remind myself to cancel it. Anywho, Yahoo Finance has a similar article. It doesn't go it's not as detailed as Fortune, but you can get the gist of it from Yahoo Finance. I told my friends what is even sadder, outside of the fact that the U.S. is insolvent. What's even sadder is that this country is about to commit a genocide against her people. And y'all don't believe anything that people like me say. You know, black people, women, liberals, people who believe in actual community, and that policy should be written for people and not for corporations. You don't believe anything we say anyway, but I'm going to tell you what's going to happen, and then we will wait and see. I don't have to wait to see if I'm right, because I know I am. Because the U.S. government is now insolvent, and they also talk about Social Security and Medicaid, Republicans will use this as a reason to further cut essential services for people who are sick, who require government assistance. So that means people who have cancer or debilitating diseases who are receiving life-saving treatment, they will lose their lives. They will lose their lives first. Elderly people will be right there along with them, because according to Project 2025, they need to root out the undesirables. Their words, not mine. And poor people will be next, because according to the Heritage Foundation, they don't contribute to our society anyway, so we can just get rid of them and essentially craft and create a world, a country that they want here in the ununited states of America, full of whites-only people with misogynistic men who beat their wives and abuse children. That's what they want. And they wrote it down. They were so confident that it would be done. They put it in a book, put it online, and let everybody read it. And then for some reason, nobody believed it. Anyway, y'all have a good day.
Y'all need to do something, bro. Y'all did. This news, they're playing a certain game. You guys got to understand. I don't know what I'm allowed to say on YouTube. Different platform, different things you can say. But they're planning things, and they're playing, because there's no way you can come out and say certain things, especially like this. I understand they have to let you know certain things, but no. Then making AI videos, playing around. But as we the people are going to have to take responsible or be held accountable if we don't start planning ourselves. If you can afford to. You're going to have to try to do some things, because first, it's in the Bible that these days shall come to pass. along with my dreams I've had, and a lot of other people. So I'm watching my words and what I say, but I'm trying to tell you, it's not what they're saying or what they're putting out, or they're allowing you to know certain information. They're telling you the truth, but they're not telling you with the truth.
This, y'all broke it, so y'all need to fix it.
Economy is so bad. $33 for toilet paper? We can't even afford to shit.
Like, are we dead serious right now? Like, are we dead ass? Is this real life?
Look at that. You gotta be fucking kidding us, Robbins.
A regular Coke, 3 for $20.97. Like actual soda, $21.
What the fuck? Used to get a whole cup.
$14?
$13.99? $14? For what? A gallon of orange juice? Y'all must be out of y'all.
For £2 of lunch meat, $23. How the hell we supposed to feed our kids on this crap?
True. Look at this. Look how small this pack is. Seriously? That fits like in my palm. Crazy.
The grocery stores are like, it look like it haven't even been touched.
Nah, groceries being this expensive for this kind of food, something ain't right. You mean to telling me they charging all of this money for food that is lab made, that is processed, that is machine created, bro? Not even handmade? Like, that's not even real food like that, bro. That's just not crazy. That is predatory, bro. They're taking advantage of it. I told y'all, bro. Y'all broke it. Y'all gotta fix it. Y'all gotta fix it. Bro, we used to have our own farms, our own fruits, our own vegetables, our own vineyards, bro. Why y'all did that? Why y'all did that? We were perfectly fine. Real fruits, real vegetables, real farms. Not everything is packaged, modified, and somehow it's still expensive and people are complaining, bro. That is crazy. Y'all broke it. Y'all gotta fix it, man. And the fact of the matter is, with the type of shift that we are in, bro, we shouldn't even be consuming this type of stuff because we don't even know what it is, man. But let me know what you guys think about the video. The shift is here. Let's continue to get it. Peace out.
I say some of the prices are not that bad. I mean, the little cup of chicken, I would say it should be like $2, but they add in a couple of more cents on it so people can be, I don't know, kind of confused, but it's okay. Now, with the soda, it says 3 for $20, 3 packs of 12 for $20. It's not 1 it says 3. So I don't know what they're talking about. I don't think that it's that expensive. I mean, I would think back in the day, it probably from back in the day when it used to be maybe 3, maybe I would say $12 to $13. Yeah, it's kind of expensive. Now, when you're looking at the meat, like what? $40, $43, $53 for what? This is insane. It's time to stop eating meat.
Peace out.
Grocery stores are like...
The U.S. Treasury just announced that the U.S. is insolvent. We are broke. They're going to use very specific terms. They're going to say our assets don't match our obligations, right? And that literally means the money we make as a country, assets, don't meet our bills, our obligations. We can't pay our bills. And they've actually said it. And this is literally because the United States refuses to tax the rich an appropriate amount, and we're spending too much on our military. Had we reduced our military spending and taxed the rich, we wouldn't be in this situation. And people are going to say, we are taxing the rich. Not enough. Not enough. The rich people are too rich in this country. There were patriotic millionaires that came out and said, a bunch of them came out and said, you need to tax us more because we are not getting taxed enough. We have money hand over fist. If you took more money out of our pockets, it wouldn't even affect our personal day to day. It's just sitting in our bank accounts, doing nothing. But the other millionaires and the politicians all said, no, 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 we're not going to do that. Even though millionaires came out, you can look them up, patriotic millionaires, and said rich people aren't getting taxed enough. So because we are not taxing the rich and because we are spending so much on the military, we don't have enough money to pay our bills.
Breaking fucking news.
This is too fast, too soon. I didn't think that a lot of things that are happening now was going to be happening in my time. I thought it was going to be more so my grandkids' time. This is happening too fast. We don't have enough time. We don't have a lot of time. But I'd say not to panic, not to worry, but plan.
Buckle up, bitch. Grab your wallet. Because the United States of America is fucking broke. Yeah, so it's currently 2:42 in the morning. I haven't slept since finding out this information. I didn't want to share with you guys at this time, so I'm gonna ruin you guys this morning. So be prepared for that. You guys let me know when you're ready to rebel. Or are y'all gonna still keep working? Because the U.S. is broke. So I'm trying to figure out if you're going to work to get paid in USD and there's no more D, are you still going to work for that company? Let's read the source. Let's read it together. The Treasury just declared the United States insolvent. Let's search. What does insolvent mean? Insolvent means unable to pay debts owed. So let's reread this title. The Treasury just declared the U.S. unable to pay its debt. The United States of America is broke, ladies and gentlemen. The government that you live in is broke. Do you know what that means for you? You're broke as fuck. Good morning. Enjoy this piece of news as you go to work for nothing.